As one of the most popular herbs grown indoors and out, this plant is sold year-round to kitchen growers who often have to rebuy it 3 to 4 times. And while I absolutely love basil, there's no reason to rebuy it over and over, as long as you know this one simple technique. Left alone and unchecked, basil will most certainly grow impressive, if not unwildly. Its life cycle cut short, however, as it is in all herbs, by the eventual flowering. There has to be a better way. Hi, I'm Jeff from the Ripe Tomato Farms. Welcome back to another episode of the Garden Quickie, the show where in 2 minutes or less, I gotta admit, we're a little bit basil crazy. And today's episode feeds into that obsession as we talk about how you can make your biggest and best basil plant ever. Time short though, as it always is, so let's dive in. When I first started out growing basil, many moons ago, I would do it all wrong. Well, maybe not all wrong, but I would copy what the commercial growers and the big box stores did. When you buy a pre-started basil plant at the store, you're not buying a single plant. You're in fact buying many. This guy here is not a single plant, but probably 20 or even 30 basil plants. Why would commercial growers be so wasteful like this? Well, it makes sense. Seeds are cheap and basil grows incredibly fast. It makes for an impressive plant that sells well by convincing us of unlimited bounty. But that life cycle will soon be cut short by flowering or bolting. So no matter how many shoots are coming out of the pot, it's not going to help us if they're all flowering, turning those leaves bitter and inedible. Instead, a better way to grow basil is starting out with a single stalk and a single plant. I admit, it does look sparse, but it's not going to stay this way. How the hay, though, is this supposed to get us to that basil bounty bonanza that I promised? Well, the answer to that lies in proper pruning. Basil, a member of the mint family, sends out new shoots on every node along the stem. Now, if you've never heard of them, nodes are the intersects along the stems where leaves branch out on opposing sides. Much like the suckers on tomato plants, basil sends out twin shoots from the axils of these nodes, and it does so aggressively. Pruning the stem right above one of these nodes is going to activate 2 new shoots, causing them to branch out, grow vertical, and become 2 new leaders themselves. Cutting the stems on your basil plant in this fashion is not only going to produce larger, bushier plants, but it's also going to stave off that dreaded flowering. With successive and constant pruning, it doesn't take very long to finally get that basil plant of your dreams. Just like it doesn't take long to watch another episode of the Garden Quickie. Thanks for watching, guys. And hey, if Garden Quickies are your thing, make sure to subscribe and click on this playlist here as we explore and solve more growing issues in 2 minutes or less.